Ray and Flex Wheeler, we would huddle up backstage and we would be like, all right, dude, you take it from that side, I'm gonna take it from this side. And no, Shawn, you were small. You get in front of him and block every freaking post doing a post.
We'll push him over.
Let's just try to give him hell. But yeah, man, we really would do that. But Dorian Yates he's the reason why Kevin Levrone even exists today, because he pushed the bar for me. And I want to say thank you, brother, because you're a fierce competitor, and that's something that the sport really does miss today.
Well, you know, thanks. Well, I look at it like this, you know, like you're only as good as the guys that you beat, right? And I believe that period in the 90s was the most competitive period. I mean, all the guys I've beaten, you're all legends in your own right, you know? So, thanks, man. I mean, you know, you got Kevin Levrone, Shawn Ray, Flex Wheeler, NASA, Paul Dillette. I mean, that was depth of competitors where if you were off, there's 5 or 6 guys there that, you know, can whip your ass if you're not careful. Now it seems that there's always like maybe 2 guys, 2 or 3 guys that can be competitive, where on that day it could have been anybody. As far as who finished second to me, Kevin, you finished second to me, Shawn finished second to me, Flex finished second to me, and NASA finished second to me. So there's all those guys that could have at some point taken me down. You know?
Well, we know we're getting old when we just keep reminiscing about the 90s. Who's got a question? I'm going to be working my way around with the mic.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Guys, you're obviously all legends yourself from the 90s. I'd like to ask, the physiques that you looked up to, like maybe the likes of Frank Zane and Arnold Schwarzenegger, do you prefer their type of physiques to the ones nowadays of like Kai Green, Ronnie Coleman?
Are you addressing that to me?
To all of you.
Okay. The guys that I looked up to, actually, when I was starting, I mean, Arnold was before me, so Arnold's Arnold, and I saw Pumping Iron, and you know, Arnold's great and everything, but it was a little later when I came into it, and the guys that I admired, maybe that's why I kind of went that route, were the guys who were very massive and powerful and strong. Tom Platz, I mean, he came over here and did seminars. Tom Platz was phenomenally popular because of his personality as well, and his like passion and enthusiasm for the sport. And I think that's something that I don't really feel it anymore. You know, I don't hear that passion. I saw Tom Platz do a seminar, and he said, you know, my goal with my physique is not to be nice and pretty and like Frank Zane. I want to walk out on that stage, and I want those judges to sit there and just drop their pencils and go, holy shit, what the hell is that? He said, I just want to freak them out, you know, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, you know. I didn't like want a beach body or anything like that. I wanted to just be as big and as strong and as take this thing, how far can I take this thing, you know? It's like, you know, if you're a sprinter, you want to run as fast as you can. If you're a bodybuilder, you want to be as big and strong and as ripped and as freaky as you can, man, you know, within reason. You know, people say, oh, Dorian, you're the mass monster. You spoiled bodybuilding. You started this whole trend of guys being all big and too big and everything. But if you take a look at what I did, and when I got ready for a contest, I could have actually competed at the Olympia 10 or 15 pounds heavier easily. If you look at pictures of me from 6 or 7 weeks out, I think my condition is as good as or better than the guys bring on stage right now. But I wasn't in that mindset. I was like, I want to be as big as possible, but with the conditioning of a lightweight. You know, that's what I wanted to be ripped as possible and as big as possible as well. So I actually sacrificed some size to come in for the contest, as ripped as possible. So the guys that I looked up to was Tom Platz, Casey Viator, if anyone's heard of him, Mike Mensa, Tim Balvet. These guys that were just thick and strong and freaky, and you know, that's what I wanted to do. So that's me, Kevin.
For me, what attracted me to a lot of the great bodybuilders was #1 personality. And you know, to name one was Lee Haney. Lee Haney was a man's man. He was a true champion. Another one is this man right here. He found his way. He built the best physique that he possibly could. And Dorian Yates was known for having that grainy look. You know, there's mental genetics, there's physical genetics, and you know, some bodybuilders get ripped and shredded. He was known to bring that grain look in. So you know, I became a fan of his accomplishments. Shawn Ray was someone who gave me a great load of inspiration because he had a business savvy approach to his preparation. You know, Shawn Ray would always come with the most beautiful, finessed posing routine, you know, possible. And I would be backstage with him. I was like, you know what? I want to mimic Shawn Ray. You know what I mean? Because his color was always perfect. His routines were always down to a T. And when you see these things, it's individuals that have their own unique personality. And for me, I became a fan of that. Just as well as like basketball, like Michael Jordan, because he just found his own great way to move and jump and everything. So when we competed, you have those guys who knew who they were, on stage. They didn't try to be like anybody else. They created their own unique poses. I mean, Dorian Yates, he created I used to hate it. I used to hate turning around next to you because it was crazy. He would throw that calf down and this, and it was like lights out. Like this. And when he pulled it, it was like, I was like, damn. So what I would do when I was standing next to Dorian Yates, for you guys that want to compete, I don't even know if you knew this. When we're in a lineup, turn around, Dorian. I knew that Dorian, I could not stand next to him. If I stood side by side, I would always get like this. I would always get like this. And when you create that illusion and move like another 6 inches, you're closer to the judges, but also everybody taking those photos, those magazines are going to come out, and I'm going to look bigger, but I'm not bigger. But I knew I could not stand next to this guy. So bodybuilding is about finding what works for you and using it